All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Student Success Program's first YouTube Live event. We are so excited to be here to talk to you today about our DKS mobile app, the primary platform for Destination Kent State new student orientation this year. I am joined by three amazing SSP staff and student staff today. And we're going to be talking about our experience with Destination Kent State new student orientation. So all about the app. We are going to get into sharing some of our Flashguides experiences at Kent State through orientation as well. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Tyler Verma, who none of you should have met yet. He's not been in any of our YouTube lives or Facebook lives yet, so I'm pretty excited. Tyler, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Awesome. Thanks, Megan. Well, I'm excited to make my debut here. Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Verma. I'm a coordinator in the Office of Student Success Programs. So I primarily support Megan with Destination Kent State and KSU Kickoff. We are so excited to have the DKS mobile app be our primary platform for orientation this year. Different way of engaging students and welcoming them to their new home. And so we are excited to have you all here. We're going to answer any questions that you may have. That is the goal of today. And we're going to be doing these live sessions throughout the summer too. So stay tuned and join us for those as well if you can. So I'm going to hand it off to our amazing student staff and our flash guides who are going to introduce themselves. So May, you can go ahead and take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is May. I am a junior English major with a minor in communications. I'm from Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, and I commute as well, and I'm first generation student. Super excited to do this. I've never done a little live stream, so it's fun. Excited to hear your questions and help answer anything you have.
Hi, everyone. Thank you once again for tuning in. My name is Justin Mason. I'll be one of your DKS Flash Guides. I'm a senior air traffic control major from Oberlin, Ohio, which is about an hour and 10 minutes northwest of Kent. I have 9 siblings in total, 2 full siblings and 7 younger step siblings. So as you can imagine, it's pretty chaotic back at home. Some of my interests include soccer, mountain biking, playing video games, hanging out with friends. And I'm super excited to connect with you and answer any questions that you may have.
Awesome. Thank you all. And again, my name is Megan Larkins. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Student Success Programs. I have had the privilege of working with an amazing team of staff members all around campus to provide to you all the Destination Kent State mobile app this year for orientation. And we are so excited, and we hope that you are too. I have 2 degrees from Kent State, so I am excited to welcome the new class of 2024 to Kent State University and answer any questions that you may have about your transition, or any parents and guests out there. If you have any questions, we are here to answer those as well. So Tyler, I'm going to throw this over to you. If you want to give everyone out there a kind of review of what's going on with the app, how to register for orientation, and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Megan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here. So just to give you all a little visual of what we have going on. So give me one moment here. All right. So here are your steps to register for Destination Kent State New Student Orientation. So first and foremost, if you haven't registered for the actual program yet, please log into your Flashline and view your new student checklist. From there, you'll be able to sign up for new student orientation and secure your advising date. And after that, we did launch our app yesterday. And so you'll go to your app store of your choice. So it works on Android, Apple, whatever you have, and download the DKS mobile app. And so the information will be time released. So we have information that came out yesterday. We will have information that comes out May 15th, June 1, and June 15th for you all to view. And we do have a parent and guest orientation as well. So when you log into the mobile app, on the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to click on parent and guest and view the orientation platform as a guest. And then we also have a web-based version as well for parents if you elect to go that route. So we have multiple options for you all, and just are excited to offer this to you this year. Brand new, like Megan was saying. This is, we've worked with some amazing people thus far to build this, and it's been really awesome. So if you have any questions, please ask them, and we'll answer those as they come in. So Megan, am I still sharing my screen?
I actually don't think it's shared.
Okay. All right.
But I can share mine and you can talk through it again if you would like.
Sure. Yep.
Let's see. Let's see if we can do this. It's been the hardest thing, you know, with this transition online is learning all of these new technologies that we weren't used to using before. So thank you all for bearing with us. All right. Tyler, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Yep. Awesome. So
Here's what we were talking about.
Yep. Let's try this one more time. So like I said, first and foremost,
With this transition online is
before you register, before you download the app, you'll need to register for Destination Kent State New Student Orientation. So to do that, you'll log in to your Flashline and you'll view your student checklist. From there, it'll say complete Destination Kent State New Student Orientation. So you'll click on that and you'll register for a date. Now that date will be the day that you meet with your academic advisor. Megan, if you click through. And so looking at the DKS mobile app, you can download it from the app store of your choice. It'll work on Android, Apple, whatever you elect to download it from. And the information will be time released. So we launched it yesterday. We have some information for you, some introductions and things of that nature. From there, we'll have a release on May 15th and June 1, June 15th, and then July 1. So we have those time released so you can complete it at your leisure. And you'll be able to see the honeycombs on there and what topics and things that they'll cover. So yeah, pretty exciting. And Megan, you can go ahead and click the next slide. And from there, you know, we wanted to support our parent and guests as well. And so we have two pathways for them. You also can download the app, and at the bottom of the screen, when you log in, it'll say parent or guest. You can click on that and you can go through the entire platform as a parent or guest, like I said. And we also have a web-based version. So you can log into our website and the link is down there for you, and be able to view exactly what is going on in the app for your students. So definitely want to support in as many ways as we can, but I think this information will definitely help everyone transition to the university in a smooth way. So
thank you, Tyler, and thank you all for allowing us to go through that yet again. Let's dig in, since it doesn't seem like we have any questions yet, and it seems like people are still finding us. Let's go ahead and dig in and get our flash guides to share a little bit about themselves. So Tyler, do you want to go ahead and ask them some questions?
Yeah. So Justin and May are both seasoned student leaders with us. And so we really wanted to kind of showcase their story today as well. So Justin, we'll go ahead and start with you. If you could just kind of go through like what your major and minor is, and maybe talk about, you know, your first year experience, right? What apprehensions did you have coming to Kent State, and how were those nerves eased when you came?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I kind of mentioned before, my major is air traffic control. So I'm in the College of Aeronautics and Engineering. So shout out to any of you out there that might be in that college as well. I have a minor in aircraft dispatch, and really in high school, and I'll kind of talk about this in my flash guide story later in the summer. However, in high school, coming from Oberlin, we have Oberlin College. So a lot of people that go through the high school system end up going to Oberlin College because it's tuition free. So that was my initial goal. I wanted to play soccer at Oberlin College. However, when I applied early decision, I ended up not getting in. And I never went on any of the tours or anything, so I didn't really know what to do. I kind of scrambled. And so I started searching for programs, and I came across air traffic control. And then I realized that Kent State offered it. And now Kent State wasn't really I knew about Kent State because my dad and my aunt are both alumni from Kent State, but I never thought I would actually go there. So what I did was I kind of put all my eggs in one basket. Didn't even really know if I wanted to be an air traffic controller, but I just kind of went with it. And here we are, 3 years later, love it. But obviously that came with some nerves as well. So I must admit, like most of you are experiencing now or going to experience in the summer, I experienced some anxiety before moving in. It's completely natural. And I think one of the biggest fears for me was going through this journey on my own. This would have been the first time I would have been away from, home and my family. So they weren't going to be there to kind of guide me, every step. Now, in addition to this, I didn't really know anybody. I only had 2 people from my class from high school that were at Kent State. But my nerves were definitely alleviated through my DKS experience. Now, it was great to connect with other students in my class, as well as connect with my Flashguides who had previously been in my shoes. Now, I know the virtual DKS experience that you all are going through now is a unique experience for all of us, but I want to encourage you all to get the most out of this experience, because believe me, we would much rather be doing this orientation in person and helping aid in your transition in person. But I know Megan, Tyler, and the rest of the SSP staff has been working really hard with this app and trying to make your experience as great as possible, even with this situation. So what I want to encourage you to do, and something that would have helped me if I were in your shoes now, is try to attend as many virtual activities as possible. We've been talking about doing online Netflix parties or something where we can all tune in on Zoom and watch Netflix together. And I noticed some of the members in your 2024 group chat are having their own Zoom meetings where y'all can join and do say whatever, get to know people as well. So I think if I were in your shoes, like I said, I think that would have helped me alleviate some of those nerves. Just getting to know people in your class is definitely the way to go. And you don't have to, I'm obviously not forcing you to, I'm just sharing my experience. But I will say meeting members of the Flash family before you begin your journey as a Golden Flash will definitely help alleviate at least some of your nerves, because I know it did for me.
Still muted. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. May, do you want to kind of discuss some of the same, right? So major, minor, some things that you were nervous about, but in your first year experience. So
Yes, of course. So my major right now is English and my minor is communications. When I came into college, it was a completely different pathway. I originally came here for ASL and English interpreting, but about midway through my first year, I decided that wasn't really for me. So I kind of explored and talked to my advisors and came to a decision that I want to do English. I have a concentration in professional writing, so kind of doing editing after college if I choose to do that. I'm a commuter, which I mentioned before. So that was kind of a struggle for me just because I live in Cuyahoga Falls, so it's about 20 minutes away. So it's not too far, but it's enough where you kind of feel like the disconnected just because you are, because you are not living on campus, and it's kind of hard to make friends because there's a stigma of commuters are very isolated from the whole campus experience, which is not true because here I am, very involved, very surprisingly involved, but I love every second of it. Would highly encourage everybody to get involved. And just like being able to step out of that comfort zone. So sitting in class, talking to people, staying on campus as much as possible. I know a lot of commuters like to go to campus, go to class, leave. I highly encourage you, if you have the opportunity, to stay there and get to know people and just try to experience what college has to offer, especially Kent State, because there's so much to get involved in, and it's just engulf yourself in the environment. Like, don't be afraid to push yourself out there. I don't know, is there anything else I should say?
No, that's okay. Thanks, May. I appreciate it. In a second, we're going to talk about your involvement. So we'll have May and Justin go through how they got involved at Kent State and really what made them feel the most at home. But quickly, Megan, I don't know if you can talk about what our students' advising appointments will look like once they download the app, and what that process will look like, if you could explain that.
Yeah, so as May alluded to, she has very closely worked with her academic advisors to kind of get to where she is today. And I was fortunate enough to be an advisor when May came through Destination Kent State New Student Orientation. I was May's FYE instructor, her first year experience instructor. So it's been amazing to watch the growth that somebody who comes into college as someone who is shy, a little bit shy, not as connected, to see where May is now as she's blossomed into an amazing student leader, and someone who wants to pursue a career in higher education in the future. It's just phenomenal. So I would encourage all of you to take advantage of that first academic advising meeting that you have at orientation, to share your story and to be really open and honest with your academic advisor, because they really are there to help you make the best out of your college experience and help you get connected to any resources that you may need. So that being said, your academic advising appointment will happen on the day that you registered for orientation. So I know some of you may have registered for orientation back in March before we made the announcement that everything is going online. Everything is still online. And although you may have gotten a confirmation that says it is an overnight experience, it will not be an overnight experience. You will meet with your academic advisor virtually on the first day that you registered for. So if you registered for a day and a half experience that was June 1st and June 2nd, you're only going to meet with your academic advisor on June 1st. So nothing will happen to that June 2nd date. You will connect with your advisor virtually between the hours of 9 and 5 for approximately an hour to discuss your goals, to share your story and why you came to Kent, and to get you registered for those classes. So if you register for orientation now or schedule an orientation date now, those dates are in between June 1st and July 1st. So you'll pick a day that works best for you and your family. And your academic advisor will be contacting you about a day prior to your advising appointment day to notify you of the time of your appointment. So expect to spend about an hour meeting with your academic advisor virtually to discuss all of that. I know we've gotten a lot of questions about that advising experience because it is so rewarding and important, because you really want your fall classes. It's a really exciting thing. So your advisors are prepared for you. They're ready to connect. They're ready to listen to you and connect you with any resources here at Kent. So although they can't meet you face to face, I know they really want to, and they look forward to that day. You will have a great time meeting with them virtually, I promise. Tyler.
All right. Thanks, Megan. I appreciate that. Megan's past life as an academic advisor has helped us out tremendously, for sure. I know all of our staff members and everything really appreciate her knowledge and background in that. So thank you. And we have gotten a lot of questions about, how is the academic advising appointment going to go, with it being online and being virtual. So I hope that eased, any nerves that anyone had or answered any questions anyone had. We've had a lot of those questions throughout the week. So just wanted to get those answered. Right now, I wanted to talk about campus involvement, right? I think that's really important. As new students come in, they're trying to find, their place and their new home. And so we have 2 students in this chat that have gotten involved at Kent State. And I want you all to talk a little bit about your journey and your involvement, what you're involved in, maybe what office helped you throughout your first year. So May, if you want to start, I'm going to start with you.
Awesome. Okay. So I have been very much involved in student success programs, which is what DKSL runs through. Coming in, I didn't really have too much leadership experience and involvement. So like in high school, I did band and I did some sports and stuff, but nothing to like an extent of being able to work with a large group of people as what I've done in college. So when I got here, I was kind of like hesitant just because being not living on campus, it was kind of hard to attend events and do all sorts of stuff that I'm going to be able to consistently do and stay involved in it. So I kind of had to pick a spot where I was like, okay, I'm comfortable in this. How can I go from there? So I took the peer leader training course, which is offered in the spring semesters. So any first year students that decide to do that, very much highly encourage it. Even if you don't decide to do any position with the class, it's still good to get that experience and it helps you build a community within that classroom. So I did that, and that's gotten me to a lot of leadership positions, which I've done today. I was a flash guide last year, as well as I'm doing it again this year. I have done student success leader, which they work with the first year experience course and working with first years in the first semester of the transition into college. And then I've also been a peer leader trainer, which teaches that course I just talked about that you can take to become not like designated leader, but building on your skills and your own personal growth of being a leader and using that later on in a position that if you feel the need to pursue, then it's definitely there for you. I am not super involved other than a bunch of leadership positions on campus because I do work outside of school and I do school full time. So it's kind of hard to juggle everything, but I'm hopefully going to get more involved later on this year. I do have some future plans, so we'll see about that.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. We do have a lot of leadership opportunities that are housed in our office as well. So connect with us later on and we'll get you on your pathway to get involved. So Justin, if you want to share a little bit about your involvement and what you're involved in.
Yeah, so very similar to May, actually. I wasn't really heavily involved in high school. I played soccer, I ran track for 1 year, but I never really took on any leadership roles or anything like that. You know, I wasn't president of my class or anything. But that summer, I knew I wanted to play soccer for the university. Now, unfortunately, Kent didn't have a varsity team, but they did have a club team. So I remember reaching out to the club managers at the time and sent them an email, got the tryout dates, went to tryouts the first week. I met some really cool people, ended up making the team. And I'll say we weren't very good the first year. We barely had enough to field the team. However, after that season was over, I finally had my first glimpse of a leadership opportunity, and I was taking over the team as a manager. So I took over the team with another guy on the team, and we ended up, doing very well the past couple of years. So that was really cool. And that was the first domino of an entire line of dominoes with my involvement. So when I first came to campus, I only wanted to get involved with soccer. I said, I'm paying all this tuition money. I don't want to focus on anything else but soccer and school. And that was it. But after managing the team, it kind of spiraled into taking the peer leader training course, which May also took, and we ended up facilitating the course as well. And so that kind of spiraled into becoming a flash guide in the summer of 2018. I became a resident assistant in the fall of 2018, and then I ended up joining Greek Life that same semester. So like I said, I ended up teaching the peer leader training course, which was a really cool experience. And it's something I highly recommend even if you're a little bit interested in leadership. It's a really good opportunity to kind of get more involved within the university. I think that's a really good first step. And obviously here I am as a flash guide once again for you all, which is really cool. And I also applied for homecoming court for this upcoming year. So that's also a really cool experience. So never did I think I would get this involved on campus, but I really wanted to get the most out of my experience. And I realized I'm not going to get a ton out if I just play soccer. So I tried to diversify my involvement through, Greek life and residence life. And, here I am.
Awesome. Thank you both for that. We definitely encourage students to get involved, whether, and at your timeline too, right? I think we don't want to rush involvement, but we definitely encourage you to get involved with something that you enjoy. May and Justin both talked about building leadership, and that's something that we are very proud of in our office and try to do on a daily basis. One of the things that I want to talk about, and Justin, I'm going to go to you on this. You were a resident assistant. And so I know a lot of first year students have questions about housing and what move-in day will look like and things of that nature. So if you could just talk about that a little bit of what that day will look like from your point of view as an RA. Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, being an RA was a really cool experience, and it kind of gave me the other side of, my perspective and lens from my first year moving in as a student. And so one thing I want to just put out there is everybody is here to help you. As a Flash family, from your faculty, advisors, or anything like that, everybody's here for a reason and they're here to help. So it might be very overwhelming your first day because, your entire class essentially is moving into the residence halls that are going to be living on campus. But just know that everything is organized to help you and help in your transition. There's a lot of people that are from Ohio, but then there's also a lot of you all that might be from outside of Ohio. I know my roommate last year is from the Philippines. So his transition is a lot different than someone who already lives in Ohio and is already used to the weather and everything like that. But yeah, so what I will say is everything is organized for your success. So don't be too worried about move-in day. I had anxiety. It's inevitable, but just, try to relax. Everything's going to be okay. there's nothing to worry about with moving.
Awesome. And Justin, can you clarify what an RA is?
Yeah, so resident assistant is a student worker that lives in the residence hall with you, and they're there to serve you in whatever way you need. So if you need help with something with the residence hall, or you have a problem with your roommate, for example, that person is your go-to to help alleviate some of those conflicts that you might be having. For me, I became really good friends with all my residents. I'm not an RA anymore, but I was an RA for a year and a half, and I'm still in contact with all my residents today. So don't view us as like the big bad wolf that's there to get you in trouble. I mean, if you get in trouble, you've done it to yourself. But just know that, we're there as a friend and a mentor if you need one. And if you don't need us, that's perfectly fine.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. And on the opposite end of that, I want to go to May and talk a little bit about commuting. That is near and dear to my heart. I also commuted to Kent State from Streetsboro. So May, if you want to talk a little bit about what commuting was like and how you stayed connected to the university and were able to get involved.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going into my junior year. I've been commuting since my first year, so I'll be going on year 3 of it. Saves you lots of money. That's like the main thing that I try to keep in my mind when I'm like, oh, I really wish I lived on campus, but I'm saving thousands of dollars, so it's okay. I can deal with that. We have 2 lots mainly for commuters, especially for the first 2 years, which is Allerton. It's like the baseball fields as well as Summit East, which is further down a little bit, but both about the same distance from campus. So I live about 20 minutes away, depending on the weather. In the wintertime, maybe 25 to 30. I speed a little bit, but that's just me. So maybe a little less time depending how I feel that day. I've enjoyed the experience overall. Like I said, there are moments where I'm like, dang, I'm with my friends and I have to go home. I have to drive 20 minutes in the dark because I just spent all day with them. But just remembering like, oh, I get to stay with my family and I get to be with my dogs and I still get to have that life on campus as well. And it's also a nice like getaway where you're not always like in that campus life if you're not particularly super like extroverted, where you can like hang out with all these people and get super involved. You can have a time to be by yourself and have your alone time when you don't have a roommate and you don't have all these different kinds of things going on at once. A way I kept involved is just, like I said, staying on campus a lot. I did try to find opportunities where I like involvement. Campus has so many different events at like night that they have karaoke, they have game nights, they have movie nights. There's so many things that you can do to like stay on campus and experience that campus life, even if you're not particularly living there. So I did try to do a lot of that. I had friends that I hung out with consistently that had dorms, so I was able to spend the night there with them and do stuff later on in the weekends if I decide to stay the night over then. Just trying to step out of your comfort zone. I know a lot of it is just wanting to go to class, but just realize that you're not going to get the full college experience, even as a commuter, if you're just doing the bare minimum of wanting to get out there and experience it all. So just to stay involved and whatever campus has to offer, take it, because you never know when you're going to get that opportunity again.
Well said, May. Thank you so much for that. Definitely resonate with that as a commuter myself, like I said before. So thank you. And any questions that you all have, you can go to the housing website or the commuter website as well that we have available to you. I know that the pricing for the parking passes and everything is on there. So whatever you need, we can drop the links in the chat as well. One thing that I would definitely want to ask you both that I was thinking about is what's your favorite Kent State tradition, and maybe something that you did as a first year student as well?
Okay, I'll start. So I think for me, homecoming is probably my favorite Kent State tradition. Having people come back, alumni from all over the country, is really cool. Because I'm a type of person that really likes to connect with people that were in my shoes at one point and kind of pick their brain on what's been working for them. Just thinking about my future. So it's really cool to go to the football game And last year we actually won by like 50 points, which was really cool as well. But they have the homecoming parade, which is awesome. Usually the president is out there on a float as well. So everyone just kind of gets involved at the same time, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. May?
I feel like I have two. One's more like, I feel like everybody enjoys it. So Blast Off, I think Blast Off is super fun. It's an event we hold at the very beginning of the year. So during Welcome Week, at the very end of Welcome Week, and it's all the different booths of clubs and sports and organizations that campus has to offer. And there's so many. So you'll definitely find something that works for you. And you just get to walk around like the main front part of campus and just like getting to talk to these people and see what they have to offer and try to get that little involvement going into college. Another one that I personally like is, I don't know if it's like a tradition type of thing, but like I like to stay in the library during finals week and just pull an all-nighter with my friends and like study and just hang out a bit, because although it's stressful, it's very like chill. So I personally enjoy that. I don't know if that's like a tradition type of thing, but for me, that's something I do probably every semester that I've done so far.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Just to clarify, Blast Off is at the end of our KSU kickoff program in August. So when everyone moves in, we do a kickoff program, and Blast Off is at the very end with all the clubs, organizations that you can think of on the K. So Megan, I'm going to hand it off to you to maybe go over the app a little bit more for those just tuning in.
Sure. Thank you, Tyler. I think this is a good time to revisit. We've been here for about 30 minutes now and heard some amazing stories and learned about our Flashguides involvement and their story at Kent State. But I want to take this moment, as you know, as we're here to talk about DKS and DKS mobile app, as an opportunity to revisit the PowerPoint presentation we viewed earlier today. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Tyler, do you want to go through this again for me?
I can definitely do that for you. All right. So for those just joining us, your first steps with Destination Kent State New Student Orientation is that you'll have to sign up for DKS. So you'll log into your Flashline, and under your new student checklist, it'll say complete DKS New Student Orientation. You'll click on that and you'll select the day. And that date is the day that you'll meet virtually with an academic advisor to schedule your classes for the fall. Megan, if you want to click over. And after you're registered and selected a date, you will download the DKS mobile app, which will take you through the entire orientation process. So you can download it through the app store of your choice, Android, Apple, whatever you choose, and go ahead and download the app. Now the information will be time released. So we launched the app yesterday, and there's some information, some welcome from the president and our Flashguide team. But there will be information on May 15th and June 1, June 15th, and July 1. So download the app. It's really awesome. It's a really cool platform that we have come up with this year. So you'll see the honeycombs in there as well, and those will outline some of the topic areas that we'll be going over on that selected date. And parents and guests, we did not forget about you. So you can go into the app and download it. And at the bottom, there's a parent and guest button where you can click on that and view the entire app as a parent and guest version. And then there's also a web-based version as well for you to access. So both are available to you, whichever one you elect to do, and you can follow along with your student as they complete new student orientation. So really great feature. Definitely suggest downloading it. It is really, really awesome. So. All right, I think that is it. Megan, I'm going to hand it back off to you.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler. So we've gotten a lot as we've been doing these live events. So we've been live with admissions twice now, and we've been getting a lot of questions about the academic advising appointment during orientation. We know that you all are eager to register for your fall classes. After all, you're coming to college for classes and to learn. And I wanted to kind of explain the advising process during orientation again. And then I want to talk to May about her experience with advising, and how she has successfully changed her major and her career path. So before we talk to May, let's get into what advising will look like at orientation. So as I mentioned before, you still need to register for an orientation date. Tyler just showed you where to do that. So on your new student checklist on Flashline, you'll go ahead in there, click complete your destination new student orientation registration. Once you click that, a calendar will pop up with dates from June 1 to July 1. If any dates are not available, that means that day is full. You'll have to choose another one that works best for you and your family. Any day you choose to come is totally awesome. Your advisors and your academic colleges are expecting students all through the month of June. And the date that you choose is actually the day you will meet virtually with your academic advisor. So this year, we can't meet face to face. And although we're bummed about that, we're really excited to connect with you virtually. And you should expect that advising appointment to take about an hour. So with your academic advisor, you're going to discuss your story, share why you attended Kent State or why you chose to attend Kent State, why you selected your major and what you hope to do one day. And then you and your advisor will work through maybe some personal and academic goals that you may have for the first semester, as well as discuss and register for your fall classes, so your first semester of classes. On May 15th, a honeycomb in the DKSmobile app will open up called Advising Info. That will contain all the information that you need to know to prep for that advising appointment. So it'll send you a link to fill out some information about yourself. So any prior college credit that you may have, if you're looking to participate in the marching band, if you're a student athlete. So you're going to be able to tell your advisor information about you before your meeting so that they can best prepare to have the best conversation with you about your academics and your plan here at Kent State. I wanted to pass it over to May because, as I mentioned before, I was May's FYE, which means first year experience course instructor. And first year experience, or FYE, is a class that every student at Kent State has to take before they graduate, and you'll take that in your first semester. And at Kent State, those classes are major or college specific. So you will be in a section with other students from your college and potentially even other students from your major, and led by a faculty or staff member in your college. So it's a great way to connect right off the bat. May, do you want to talk about your first year experience and your relationship with your advisor and how that helped you change your major and realize what career you want to go into?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So I'll start with my first year experience. Like Megan said, she was my faculty member in that, and it was so fun. So originally we were supposed to do like a pre-college trip type of, like a I don't know what you would call it. It was like we're supposed to go on like a little camping trip and do like a bunch of like little leadership stuff and make connections with people in your college. That didn't work out, but they did still hold like little event for us. So people in College of Education, Health and Human Services, if they wanted to, they could sign up for this. And I was super nervous to go into it, but that's how I made some of my friends that I still have today from that experience. So I really enjoyed that and I value that. In that class for FYE, it was mine. The class that I was in with Megan wasn't major specific. It was more college, the College of Education, Health and Human Services, so more of that in a broad spectrum. So I got to hear like lots of different viewpoints of people going through their own major and like what they're doing on their path as well as my own. So that was super cool. That helped me kind of decide, okay, well, there's other people going through the same struggles as I am, which I think is a big part of the first year experience course, just that you're not alone. And if you're freaked out and if you're stressed over midterms and finals and all this stuff, there's still people that are there that relate to you that you can talk to once or twice a week. And you can talk to your student success leader as well, which is someone that's gone through peer leader training course, like I've mentioned before, and they're there to assist in the classroom as well. For advising, so coming in, I was an ASL English interpreting major. I was choosing between Kent and Cleveland State for that, but I decided to do Kent overall just because they had a 4-year program rather than a 2 and 2, which is just a lot more convenient to go straight through. finish that, get my degree, and go do whatever I wanted to do. About midway through my first year, I was like, ooh, this is not it. I don't want to do this. This is a lot of work, and I just don't think I am prepared for that. I'm someone that always likes to have a game plan and a schedule of what I'm going to do, especially for college, and like to just be able to plan that all out. And the major was just very specific, and it was very time oriented. So if you missed one class that was full for the one semester, then it kind of pushed you back, and that just freaked me out a little. So I wanted a little more, I guess, open availability of being able to work with what I feel comfortable with and what's going to work with me, with working outside of school as well, and trying to stay involved and be social and take care of myself. So with that, I talked to my advisor, who is Rachel Walters, the best advisor ever. She works in College of Education, Health and Human Services. She was wonderful. Even in my transition, when I still didn't have her, she still checked up on me. So she's great, would 10 stars. I love her. She's awesome. But she really helped me talking it through, like, okay, why do you want to change this? How can you go from here? And then she got me in contact with other people. And then when I decided to change my major, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something kind of along the English lines, but I didn't know if I wanted to concentration in literature, professional writing, if I just wanted to do in general English major. So it was very kind of like freaking out. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? If I do this, am I going to be able to get a career later on? So I went to the career center that we have on campus, which I believe is located in the Schwartz Center. So it's across from like the student center stuff across the street. And they were able to talk with me and go through all these options of, okay, if I do this major, if I do this concentration, if I finish my degree in this, what can I do after college? So that really helped ease my nerves. And I feel like it definitely threw my parents off as well when I told them that I wanted to change my major, because they're like, well, what are you going to do with this? If you're majoring in English, how are you supposed to get a career with that? But I just had, like, it was reassuring for me, and to be able to tell them, I talked to someone that's a professional, they helped me through this, and I feel 10 times more comfortable going into this now than I was in the beginning. With that being said, now after college, after I finished my undergrad, I don't particularly want to do English anymore. I've decided I wanted to do higher education administration. So kind of what Tyler and Megan do, and just, I really want to be an advisor and to just work with students and be able to help them through their 4 years of college. So with that, I talked to Megan a lot. She was a very big resource for me, because she's seen me through all of my college, and I just know I can trust her with a lot of the questions I have, and she's doing something that I would love to do. So being able to talk to her and just sit down and be like, okay, if I do this, what can I do with it? Because obviously you can't do exactly what you want, but higher ed has such a broad spectrum of things that you can do. So there's like so many opportunities that I can take. And I just feel very confident with all the people that I have around me that have helped me do this. And I'm just really excited to be able to continue with it and see where it leads me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, May. I know it's a lot to ask you to share your whole personal journey on finding your major, but I do think it's relevant to a lot of people. When I was an advisor, I would always tell people I changed my major 6 times and I still graduated on time. But I think you hit it right on the head, is that, you know, you have to use your resources and you have to open up and trust your advisor, because they really are there to help you find your best path and your best way forward. So thank you, May. Thank you for sharing. Tyler, you had another question for them.
I did, yeah. Thanks, Megan. So, Justin and May, as we go through this live, right, one of our goals is to help transition new students to the Golden Flash family. So one of the things I wanted to ask you both was, what was the biggest difference for you from high school to college? Like what was like, wow, like that's different. I need to do this way, or something along those lines. So Justin, we can start with you.
Sure, I kind of hinted at it at the beginning, but I think just being on your own, quote unquote, on your own. In high school, you have your parents there to help push you and say, okay, you got to study for this many hours because you have an exam or whatever. When you're in college, it's you're independent. So you have to find ways to keep yourself in line and say, okay, I have an exam on Saturday, I need to study right now. So I think self-discipline is really important. And that's something I didn't really have in high school, but it's something I kind of developed as I got to Kent and started doing things on my own away from home. I think that's really important to kind of think about. One thing that I was kind of worried about was how big Kent is in relation to my hometown. However, I think the cool thing about Kent is the downtown makes the university feel smaller than what it actually is. So it's a really cute kind of downtown feel, just like how my hometown is as well. So you might have 20,000+ students on campus at a given time. It does feel a lot smaller, and it feels a lot more homey to me. And I can safely say that Kent State is my second home.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. May, we're going to pass it off to you. Biggest difference from high school to college.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to highlight what Justin said just about self-discipline. I kind of went through high school of these classes are easy. I don't have to study. I can just do it and graduate and then I'm done. And then I got to college and I was hit with reality and I was like, I'm paying a lot of money for this and I cannot fail this class. So just be able to like keep yourself in track and just make sure that you are focusing, using a lot of planners and planning out my days accordingly of what exactly I'm going to do with that. Another thing is, even though I live 20 minutes away and a lot of people go to Kent from my high school, I was never going to see them because there's so many people on campus. It's kind of hard that you're just going to run into someone that you went to high school with. And a lot of my close friends were going to different parts of Ohio, different states. So it was very like overwhelming for me. Like, I don't have a support system going to this. I have my parents, but they can't come to college with me. So what do I do now? So just being able to push myself to make friends and like don't just like shy away was like a very big difference for me, because I had this whole same group of friends all through high school and then I was left by myself for college. So definitely just working through that and being able to know that, okay, you're not alone. You just kind of have to make sure that you meet people that are going to work well with you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, May. Megan, I'm going to hand it off to you. I think maybe we have a question.
Yeah, we have our first question, so very exciting. And as we're getting ready to wrap up, we have about 12 minutes left. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat, the live chat on YouTube. And thank you all for being here again. May, I'm going to ask you this question. You kind of hit it. You kind of hit on it in your last advice to students. So Jason wants to know, as an out-of-state student, what would you recommend is the best thing to do to get comfortable? And I'm going to challenge you a little bit further is, how did you make friends?
Okay. How did I make friends? That's a good question. Well, I'm a very likable person, first of all. So no, I'm just kidding. Well, going into classes, I had a mindset, you kind of have to force yourself to meet people in your class. So even if it's just like skimming the surface of like, oh, you're in my class and I'm going to see you like twice a week, let's exchange some kind of social media so you can stay in contact with them. And then I have friendships that have grown from that. Again, getting involved. So I did the PLTC course, which helped me a lot in making friends from that. And then later growing onto so many people that I've met through my leadership positions. And just overall getting comfortable is just, like I said, pushing your boundaries. I know it's hard. And I personally don't understand out-of-state stuff because I live 20 minutes away. So I don't particularly get what kind of feeling you would be going through, but I have friends that are from out of state and I empathize with their nerves and like what they're going through. So just being able to remember why you're doing it in the first place to get comfortable, like you chose Kent for a reason, kind of just remember that if you are getting freaked out, like you did this for yourself and you're going to meet all these people and just to be open to the experience.
Thank you, May. I know that you are not an out-of-state student, but I know that everyone has their own struggles as they transition for their first year. And Justin, I'm going to ask you the same thing. I know you're not an out-of-state student either, but like you said, you aren't from Kent, Ohio, or a surrounding city. So as an out-of-state student, so Jason is an out-of-state student, what would you recommend to him as the best thing to do to get comfortable on campus?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I definitely echo what May said. I think when everyone's moving in, everyone is experiencing the same kind of anxiety. There's a lot of people that don't know anybody before moving onto campus. And I think if you kind of embrace that and say, okay, they're feeling the same way, they want to make friends, let me just introduce myself and see where it goes. I know that first weekend that I moved in with Blast Off and KSU Kickoff was a great opportunity for me to branch out and meet new people. I said in my introduction that I only knew 2 people at Kent before moving in. And I kind of went by the motto, if I only hang out with those 2 friends the first weekend, those are going to be the only 2 friends that I'm going to have the whole semester because I'm going to feel comfortable with them. So what I did was I didn't hang out with them for probably the first month, which really forced me to branch out and meet new people. So it kind of started with my roommate, and we went to Blast Off together, and then I started meeting people at Blast Off, and that was an awesome experience as well. So while also learning about the organizations, I got to meet a lot of people. And one example of that was the day before classes, we had a meeting with our FYE instructor, the first year experience course that May talked about earlier. And we were in a big lecture, and we're turning in our essays for the common reading experience. And I remember they were asking each major to raise their hand, and I was sitting in the front. So I raised my hand when they called the air traffic controllers, and a guy in the back, his name's Kyle, he saw me and he came and sat right down next to me. And to this day, he's one of my best friends, probably a better friend than a lot of people that I have back home, which is really cool. So that was kind of my first glimpse of, wow, this is a true family, and kind of solidified that idea that this is my second home away from home.
That's awesome. Thank you both. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So just to reiterate, DKS Mobile is live now, so orientation can begin now. All incoming students are required to attend Destination Kent State New Student Orientation. Now I say attend, but I really mean that you are required to participate in Destination Kent State New Student Orientation this year. And this year it looks a little bit different. It will be on the DKS Mobile app. So in your app store of your choice on your phone, you can go ahead and type in DKS Mobile or head to our website. And I'm going to put our website in the chat function here so that you can click through and get more instructions on how to register for orientation. Make sure that you do register via Flashline or schedule an orientation date, because that is very important. That's the day you're going to meet with your academic advisor, connect and register for classes. But as a companion and the primary platform for orientation, you're going to want to download the DKS mobile app to stay connected and make sure that your transition to the university is as seamless as possible. With that, I am going to ask May and Justin one final question, and I don't think you're prepared for this one, but Justin, we'll go ahead and start with you. If you could redo one thing from your first year, or maybe your first week at Kent State, what would you redo and why?
Wow, that's a tough one. Like I said earlier, I had a really good experience my first week. One thing I probably would have done differently was making sure that I was staying on top of my schoolwork the first week. Now there's a really good transitional period the first couple of weeks because they understand, you're a new student, you're still getting acclimated to the university. But what I found was if you miss one assignment, it kind of spirals down from there, and you end up missing, multiple assignments in other classes as well. So if you can get a really good grasp of your academics the first semester, I think that's going to lay the foundation to do really well in the future. Because my first semester, I had the lowest GPA that I've had out of any semesters at Kent. And I think it was because I just wasn't fully prepared to have that self-discipline that May and I talked about before, and just saying, okay, you have this exam, you need to study right now. Because in high school, I just blew through it, didn't really study or anything like that. So you have to kind of adapt good study habits to allow you to succeed.
Thank you, Justin. Okay, May, if you could go back and redo one thing from your first year, maybe your first week at Kent State, what would you do and why?
That is a very good question. I was trying to think while Justin was talking. It was kind of hard. I don't know. I'd say just like overall for my first year, I didn't really start getting involved and like trying to get out of my bubble until the second semester of my first year. So maybe just like being able to reach out more, because I was 10 times happier that the second semester and then continuing on than I was the first semester, just because I was still getting adjusted to college. And I was just like, I can't talk to anybody because I only have like 3 friends and we all have classes and we still have work. So it's hard to like get to see them all the time. So I guess just like, yeah, just trying to get to know more people and yeah, know more people, get more involved than I was.
Awesome, thank you both. So for those students out there who may have particularly resonated with you, how can students connect with you? So Justin, now's your time to shout out your social media and allow students to connect with you if they felt a particular connection. So May, go ahead, and then we'll go with Justin.
Yes. Oh, I love self-promotion. So if you want to reach out to me like very like personal, you can have my email. So mfranc22 so you can email me that way. Or I have Instagram and it's at MAI.Ling. My name's Mei Ling, go by May in college. That's another fun thing. You can change your name if you want in college because no one knows what you were called in high school. So highly recommended. And yeah, that's about it. So Instagram, MAI.Ling, and then you can DM me on there. We can talk there. Or like I said, my email, mfranc22@kent.edu.
May, you don't want to promote your TikTok?
I guess. So I have a TikTok that's not, we have a Flashguide one. I'm pretty sure it's Flashguide, that Kent State Flashguides, which is our group TikTok. And then my own personal TikTok, give me a sec, I don't usually promote it. MK Francis. I'm an avid dancer on there, so you can watch that.
All right, thank you, May. Sorry for putting you on the spot. I know you love your TikTok. Justin, how can students connect with you?
Yeah, I'll say definitely follow May on TikTok. She's always on my For You page, so that's awesome. But like May, you can easily reach me by email, jmason36@kent.edu. That's JMASON36@kent.edu. Also, I have Instagram at JSTNMason. You can find that through the Kent State SSP Instagram as well. I know May is tagged on there as well, so that's an easy way to kind of reach out. You can DM me questions. I'll respond almost instantly.
Awesome. Thank you both for being here. Tyler, any final words from you?
Yeah, just a few. So for everybody watching, please make sure, number one, to register for Destination Kent State New Student Orientation through your Flashline. After you're done with that, go ahead and download the app. But I think for me and everyone else, on behalf of Student Success Programs and our Flash Guide team, for those who have registered and are coming, welcome home. We're excited to be here for the start of your journey. And get you acclimated to Kent State and be a part of the Golden Flash family. So I think that is really all I have. Megan?
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. And thank you all for tuning in and devoting 1 hour of your lovely Saturday following along and asking us questions. We will be back every Friday via probably YouTube Live. If you have downloaded the DKS mobile app, that's the best way to keep in touch with us. All of our live events will be listed on your calendar. Ask us any questions that you may have during those live events, and we will be talking to you soon. As always, go Flashes.